This is part two of our draft coverage on the Believe Sports Network. You're listening to Running with the Timberwolves. And the Wolves have just selected with the 27th pick, Terrance Shannon Jr. out of Illinois. Chris, your initial reaction?
I was surprised. I
I
think it's
was too, yeah.
fine. I think he's fine. Like, I think drafting a guy at this point, that's 24. Like, he's going to be 24 in a month. Which means he's like 3 years older than Anthony Edwards, which is crazy, or 2 years. Um, Drafting this guy is an interesting take. I mean, he's a downhill, powerful slasher, scorer, improved 3-point shooter this year, but I don't really see. I guess he could be a backup to Anthony Edwards, maybe. I mean, we're gonna need someone to give him a break. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's not really an upside pick for me, which might be good. We need a guy that we can plug in, and maybe he can be productive right away. Maybe that's what we wanted. Um, yeah, I mean, I think he's fine. I think he's fine. I think he's going to be fun. I think he's a lot of people are saying open court slasher, score, hard worker, defensive guy. I mean, there's other guys I would have went with. I mean, Isaiah Collier was drafted just 2 picks later by the Jazz. That one might hurt, but we got a point guard, so maybe we didn't need to go that direction. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he turns into, but I don't think it's a terrible pick. I think he's got a pretty high floor because at the very minimum, he's
Yeah.
a big athletic body with an NBA body already.
Now, to cover up the elephant in the room, of course,
Yeah.
you may have heard of Terrance Shannon and his rape case in Kansas. Now, obviously, he was acquitted from that. He even got to play. He missed 6 games of the season, came back, and basically, I think Hunter Dickinson testified at his trial and everything. So he is a free man. We can't hold him anything for that because he was acquitted in front of a jury of his peers. But let's go over some of his stats. 30, he shot a career high, or second to career high, 36% from 3 last season, shot a career high 47.5 from the field. I just think it's interesting that we went out and got another scorer after getting Rob Dillingham.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big concern for us in the playoffs. I mean, we watched teams have multiple guys that can get their own shots and can get to the rim, really disrupt us. I mean, there's not many guys more like Kyrie Irving in this draft than Dillingham, so that was kind of an interesting grab. So we might be just trying to bolster our offense off the dribble a little bit and off the bounce from the wing. So I mean, filling needs again.
Yeah, and I wonder if we're kind of redirecting because what we thought we were going to do with the second pick or with our 27th pick was kind of get a replacement for Kyle Anderson. I wonder if we're still doing that. We're just taking the Kyle Anderson role in a different direction. We're saying, okay, maybe this guy can play a little bit of small forward, but maybe he can do a couple things that Kyle Anderson can't do in this situation where Kyle Anderson was more of a facilitator, more of a playmaker, if you can call it that. Maybe we're going, okay, what we want to do more is today's NBA is more of a scorer, more of that coming from the small forward position. I mean, Terrance Shannon is 6'6", so decent size there. And like I was saying, as Jay Billis was saying on ESPN, he was early on in the year a front runner for player of the year with Zach Edey. I mean, 23 points per game, 47% from the field. I mean, he basically single-handedly led that Illinois team to the Elite Eight last season. So, I mean, he's no slouch either. I think he might have, let's just say this, I feel better about this than I did about Wendell Moore Jr.
100%. I mean, and this is the guy that you're going to be able to probably plug in day one, and he's going to be able to handle some NBA minutes on the court. Like he's built like a grown man. I think he's going to be able to handle some of that pounding. He's also known to be, a strong finisher at the rim. As he gets to the free throw line a lot. I know that he, like his rate at finishing even below the rim is super high, but he's a huge high flyer. So, I mean, attacking the rim, must be a priority for what we're looking for, because we just put in two of the guys that are some of the better guys in the draft class at that we just drafted. So we're definitely changing our offensive identity through the draft already.
Right. And like I was saying, the guy that I wanted at pick number 27 was Baylor Shireman. I don't know if he's going to be there 10 picks from now, but we'll have to see going forward. So let's give it a grade. What would you give Tim Connolly as a grade for tonight so far? Obviously, we don't know what happened in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking day one, I mean, it's hard not to say an A. I mean, he went out and targeted a guy that he wanted, and he got him for nothing more than a future first round pick and a pick swap. I mean, there's teams that gave up more than that, in my opinion, to get the mid 20s pick. So I think he did a great job for value at getting Dillingham. And then I think Shannon, I mean, there's guys that loved. I mean, if you take away his off-court stuff, he was talked about as a lottery pick for time being. So again, he might not have been the exact guy that I wanted. I mean, I really wanted Didit, who went just a couple picks ahead of us to the Knicks. I liked Collier, who went a couple picks after us, but that's fine. I mean, these are, I'm not a scout, so we'll see how it turns out. I like the fact that we got a guy that's not young. He's not 18. He's not 19. He's seen some big level basketball. Like you said, he pushed his team through the tournament. He was the lead dog. So we're adding guys that are known to be scorers to a team that really had struggles scoring from time to time.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see. I wonder if almost Terrance Shannon Jr. is almost a security blanket for a guy like Rob Dillingham Jr., where if he doesn't work out, maybe this guy does, and he's our attacker. I'm not saying that he's not going to work out, but just looking at his production during the tournament, so big games, I mean, he was good. 26 points against Morehead State, 30 points against Duquesne, 29 points against Iowa State, and he shot 4 for 10 from three. He shot 36% from three in the NCAA tournament. So I mean, he steps up when there were big games, and maybe he can do that here, some spot minutes here and there.
I'll take it. That's what we need. I mean, we need another guy that can step up and score when Anthony Edwards isn't. So I mean, adding bullets to the gun is always a good thing.
Absolutely. And I think we'll put an exclamation point in it there. If you missed it before, make sure to go see our podcast that we did about an hour ago, I think now, about Rob Dillingham Jr. We talked about him for about 20 minutes. So make sure to check that out. Chris, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, man, draft day is always excited for me. So I'm happy to be part of it.
It's always a fun one. And this is the Running with the Timberwolves podcast on the Believe Sports Network. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, and give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and or Apple. And check out our full podcast on YouTube and Apple as well. And tell a friend as well. And as always, go Wolves.